Hello there, what's going on everybody? Today we're going to be doing a Separatist build. This is going to be a starter build for X-Wing's Wave 3. We're going to be doing basically stuff that if you got everything that, came out with the beginning of Wave 3, if you got one of each, you should be able to make this build. So we're not going to try to do like a full Vulture Swarm where you have to go out and buy lots of extra stuff. I'm not doing like a double Sith Infiltrator build or anything like that. Doing stuff that'll get you out if you've just kind of done one of everything. I do want to remind you guys there is still time to enter the latest giveaway. You can win an expansion of your choice in the form of a $25 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is become a subscriber and leave a comment. Winner for that will be announced here in a few days, so make sure you are subscribed and leave a comment. So, that being said, I am using the official squad builder, and we're going to go to Separatist Alliance and Hyperspace. Sure, I think everything... As far as I know right now, I believe all the stuff that you're going to get is both extended and hyperspace legal. So that's one of the advantages. If you're like just jumping into X-Wing right now, one of the things that you can do when you're just getting into the game is have that peace of mind that knowing everything you fly is going to be legal in just about every conceivable format. So that is a very comforting thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on some droids here and have some fun with them. There's all kinds of them. You can definitely run the Trade Federation drones. They're very, very cheap. If you're really trying to do that, you can get a lot of those. But we're going to try some different ones. One of the things, I like this Horchal prototype. So we're going to run 2 of these. And the thing with, we can only run 2 because they are limited with the 2 dots. That means you can only have 2 of them in a build. It's like they're unique, but they're limited. All right, and one of the things we're going to do, they're Initiative 1, so they serve a couple of different purposes here. First off, they're good blockers. I can move them in right away, no problem. I can end up getting into a jam and a little traffic jam with a lot of enemy ships, and they also have networked calculations, and that's one of the things that's really nice about the Vulture droids, the Vulture fighters, is that you as long as somebody has calculated, you can spend a nearby calculate token, so they're going to work very, very well with that. You can go ahead and give them their nice little energy charge missiles, too. So this way, and I'm going to give that to both of them. The energy shell charges, all you have to do is have, a calculate. So you don't even need target lock, which is always nice. So I do like that. And the thing is, even if we don't, even if we're not able to get the target lock, the ability of the Horchal prototype is going to help us with that. Enemy ships in our bullseye arc at range 0 to 2, if they declare another friendly ship as the defender, we can go ahead and perform that calculate or target lock action. Target lock might be good, calculate might be better, especially considering what they have. So that's always going to be good, even if we're not shooting our energy shell charges. Additionally, I'm going to give these guys also the grappling struts. So this way they can end up going on some asteroids if I want. That's a really cool feature of the new, of the Separatists, is that they can have their Vulture droids anchor to the asteroids and effectively kind of become little stationary turrets that don't move. And so that one's kind of fun. And of course, they can rotate around a little bit. That one is kind of fun. We're going to add a third, now assuming that you also picked up the individual droid expansion. We're going to go ahead and add a third one too, and we'll add DFS 081. DFS 081 is going to be a little bit higher initiative, and the idea here is going with a slightly higher initiative fighter. Maybe somebody will, go after him because he's going to shoot first, and that will trigger these Horchal prototypes. So that's kind of the idea, especially if you're flying them close together. Hopefully you will have somebody in the bullseye arc. Also, he's going to help them also because when they're defending, it may spend a calculate token to change the crits to hits. Now, that's a good thing because you only have three all of the crits. So basically, if you don't think you're going to be able to stop the damage, but it's not enough to kill you, then you can just say, you know what, I'll just take the face down damage. I don't want to gamble with a crit that could end up being disastrous. And so that is pretty nice. It's also pretty nice in case you happen to roll 2 defense dice and they're both blank. So you can still have something that you can do with those calculate tokens. It's always a good thing. And so for this guy, we're also going to go ahead and give him the same things. Where you should have 3 copies of energy shell charges, and they make for a pretty nice missile. I do like them, and they can be reloaded. recharged, I believe, with when we look at their card. It's, a good range 3 attack, doesn't require target lock. That's just so good. And they only have the 1 charge, but as an action you can reload them, no problem. You're going to be getting free actions elsewhere anyway, so why not? And we'll go ahead and we'll put grappling structs on him as well. That just makes for a nice little, not even a swarm, but I'll call it a mini swarm just for the sake of things. Now we're going to go ahead and as much as I would like to have one of every ship, I think we want to run a nicer. I'm not going to run a Belabulub in this one. Instead, I'm going to run Darth Maul. Darth Maul is going to take up a lot of points, and it gives you a little bit more of a feel for some other things. And the reason why I'm doing this and not both is because one of the things that the Sith Infiltrator has that the Belabulub also happens to have is the tactical relay ability. So it becomes, I think, less advantageous to run both. Because you can't use 2 tactical relays. So if we're going to be most efficient here, let's take advantage of one of these. And since I have 3 friendly ships, I'll go ahead and assign Kraken. I think Kraken's going to work really well here because I can have these ships, calculate on the first turn, save their calculate, and have it for the next turn. So then maybe they want to take a second calculate or a target lock. And a second calculate is actually a good option because they'll be saving one, so they're not going to be taking the same action twice in a row. Or maybe they barrel roll to line up those bullseye arc shots. So that one's going to be really fun and just going to help the build work, at least on those turns before we start losing people. So Kraken is going to be a really nice option there. We're going to do some fun stuff with our crew. That's going to give us the option to do multiple different things and kind of experience these different cards in different ways. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Darth Sidious as a crew. Sidious, or Palpatine. We'll run him as a crew. Now, he'll actually be equipped face up with Chancellor Palpatine. But I'm glad they show you both versions there. So Chancellor Palpatine is going to, first off, he's going to let you coordinate. And that's always nice if you want your droids to survive, and calculate tokens are going to be very helpful for that, especially with DFS's ability to help them survive even further. And so that's just an overall a nice option for them to have. But I don't really, and also once we flip him over, when he becomes Chancellor Palpatine, when he becomes Darth Sidious, you can also help them gain a focus token, which is going to be kind of weird giving a droid a focus token, but I think that's just micromanagement by Palpatine. He's focusing for them. But yeah, we will have Palpatine equipped, and I'm also going to run, this is a stretch here, but I'm also going to run Dooku, and there's a reason for this. Now, Dooku is a really, really cool card. He's actually good to run on just about anywhere you have a crew. He's a decent option on maybe like 066 as well, or even the Dark Courier generic. If you just want to have the one, because he doesn't care how much force you have. He just wants you to have max force. He wants all of your force to be active. And that's just as easy to do with only one. But considering we're going to do something else to make this work. The idea with Dooku is he can kind of predict a result, and you can guarantee that result is going to be there, but only if all your force are active, and then you can spend one and then name that result. And so if you do the approach where your vulture droids get in range first, and then they can shoot with those energy shell charges, you can name a crit and then make sure that they at least get one crit. And if they happen to maybe not get that crit, you change maybe a blank red die to a crit, and then they can spend network calculations to allow somebody else to to turn the eyeballs to hits, and just make sure you get a really good shot out of that. You can also do that for the guaranteed evade. Again, they only have 2 evades, so they're not necessarily doing that well. All in all, Count Dooku is really going to help in that regard. But the other thing that's good is that he's also giving you +1 force, and Maul really likes to have a lot of force because he wants to spend a lot of his force to be able to take secondary shots, extra shots, and having 5 is really going to help out, because that means, like, even if you're not using Dooku's ability or any of the other stuff, just using his force to take extra shots, it's going to having that 5th force is going to give you a whole 3rd round of double shots. Like, by the time you shoot for that 3rd time, the first 2 will have recharged, and it's just really cool. So I like having that odd number. It's just really, really nice to have 5 force on Darth Maul. Or you end up taking a second shot. You shoot one time, have to spend 3 force, and then shoot a second time. You can potentially find yourself out in a situation like that. Now, having 5 force, it becomes very, very tempting to go ahead and spend it all. So we're going to have one really, really nice way to spend it all, and that's going to be with hate. Hate is a really, really good upgrade to put on Darth Maul, because whenever you take damage, you can refresh that many force tokens, and that works really, really well with Dooku, because then you can potentially go back up to full force again, and rinse and repeat. As far as I know, I think that should work twice. I think that should absolutely work twice, because they want your force to be full. So if they shoot you again, it's like saying, hey, don't shoot Darth Maul, because you'll just replenish everything and then give me some more stuff. And as far as I know, Dooku can work for himself, because he's not saying another ship. It says before a ship at range 0 to 2, and you definitely should be able to use that on yourself. So that's the combo here. Is like Dooku's going to work a couple of different ways. I like the idea if people try to shoot you multiple times, you're going to get that guaranteed evade result, especially with only 1 die. It's nice to be able to guarantee that. So, what else do we want? I will also put the Scimitar title on here so we can start out cloaked, and decloaking is going to be fun with the large base ship. This does bring us up to 199 points, so that's like the full build. Obviously, as you want to toy around with different build ideas, this may not be this is certainly not the only way to build some of these ships. But I do like hate on Maul all the time. Palpatine and Dooku don't have to be there, because Maul does have enough force to still be able to work on his own. With 3 force and regenerating 1 each turn, it's still a great amount of force to be able to take double shots with. Very, very cool ability he's got. And it's giving you basically 5 shots each turn, because you've got your 3 little droids, you've got Darth Maul, and then you got Darth Maul's second shot. So that's all I've got for you guys today. That is the build. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and let me know what you think in the comments below. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.